HGTV's Battle of the Bling is a new competition reality show about interior design, although it feels like it's been recycled many times over since the new millennium, which also feels like about the time that people stopped using the word bling to describe expensive looking stuff. That's why it feels dated when this show keeps using that word to sell us cheap looking garbage. It's like shopping for a screen printed t-shirt in the girls section of a 2010s Walmart supercenter. See, that sentence was just forever long, and I didn't have to use the word bling once. So what's your excuse, Todrick Hall? That's one of the hosts of this show, along with interior designer Kim Miles. It's hard not to imagine that Todrick got this job, at least in part, because of his over-the-top YouTube house tours that made headlines when it was discovered that he was being sued for back rent on a mansion that he claimed to own on camera. Based on that, and some of his furniture featured within those house tours, the producers were confident that Todrick would be easily impressed by this competition's needlessly rich homeowners and their painfully tacky interiors. He loves that. In fact, if there's one thing we know Todrick likes, other than not spending money, it's a strong theme. That's why his master bathroom looks like a Wizard of Oz escape room. So join me while we watch the very first episode of Battle of the Bling. Oh, the way I said that. It's a fluffy show with nothing scenes that seems almost intentionally made to be played in the waiting room of your doctor's office, chock full of arbitrary judging systems, questionable design choices, and a grand prize that seems like more trouble than it's worth. I think you'll find that every weird room we see today is one that you'll want to try to escape from. So, time to tickle that bling ring with another tricked out installment of Clip Breakdown. Hello television viewers, my name is Nick. Thank you so much for joining me once again on my channel for another installment of Clip Breakdown. This is the playlist where we dive into our favorite TV and other content here on the web, and we break it down like the blueprints for a poorly built house. But hey, it got you on an episode of television, so job well done. But before we get into all of this, make sure you give this video a big thumbs up if you want to see me cover even more HGTV, HTV, PTV shows, home renovation stuff. But most importantly, if you're new to my channel, I would love to have you click that subscribe button right over here. That way you never miss new videos from me. I upload 2 new ones every week, so turn on notifications, mama. Also, I've got merch and a Patreon, bonus stuff. Maybe I'm off base thinking the term bling is outdated, but either way, they're using the word a lot.
Bling.
Bling!
Bling. Bling. Bling.
Bling.
The bling is, that's bling.
The Bling Brigade is here, darling. Bling.
Bling. The bling. You know what I love? Bling.
Bling. This is Bling Central Station, honey. Bling.
Blingy.
Blingy places. Blingiest.
Bling.
Bling.
Are we the fairy bling mothers?
I guess if that's the best you could come up with, but I would rather call you Persephone, Blinger of Death, because you're already killing me. Although even that feels a little too whimsical for how much you're terrorizing me with that word. You're Bling Jong Il. You're the Al-Qaeda of costume jewelry. I think clearly HGTV overestimated Todrick's ability to come up with his own jokes, because Fairy Bling Mother is not even really a pun. He's just taking the word bling, lubing it up with his spit, and then jamming it into the names of characters that he auditioned for, but Billy Porter got to play instead. I feel like it's been so long since people have really used the word bling a lot in pop culture, except to describe those kids who robbed Paris Hilton. I think it's best that they start off the season with a little refresher on the definition.
And what do I mean by that?
Bling! Purposely showy. Ridiculously flashy. See also Todrick Hall.
Oh, don't worry, Todrick. We've already seen your misleading tour of the house and staging furniture that you're renting, so there's really no need to remind us that you are the definition of purposefully showy and ridiculously tacky. Oh, he said flashy, but there were retro VHS tapes glued to the wall of his basement. So there must be some sort of typo in his huge tattered book. Tell me, is that a first edition Necronomicon. Also, I'm trying to suspend my disbelief while watching Todrick's alter ego, who is a British person that reads, but then they could have at least framed out the holes in his jeans. It's giving this was the only pair of black pants that I brought with me to set. Now, Todrick Hall, if you don't know and haven't seen my other video on the house tour that I'm referencing, he really broke out and became famous through his participation in American Idol and then going on to be a YouTuber and a Broadway performer and songwriter. You know, he's talented. But aside from his really over-the-top maximalist design and that kind of went viral in these videos, I couldn't think of a single other reason why he would be the one hosting this show. And even then, like, those house tours are years old, so I do feel confident that his renting scandal sort of is what pushed him into the spotlight enough to get this position. That's not obviously the story he tells us, though.
I believe in bling on everything. I'm obsessed with scrolling social media for outrageous homes.
And I live and breathe interior design.
Todrick also lives and breathes interior design. There's an original costume from Wicked in his walk-in shower, and the mold spores that it releases literally bling out his lungs a little more every morning. So take that, Kim Miles. Anyway, it was important for us to establish the credibility of our hosts, so now we know one is an accomplished interior designer and the other looks at the inside of rooms on TikTok. Then they go and explain the structure of this high-stakes competition. Each of the first 5 episodes will feature 3 different houses. Then the blingiest of the 3 homeowners is chosen to advance to the finale, and one finalist will be chosen to win the blingiest grand prize you could ever ask for from a show that has no budget because the network has no faith in it. Tell them what they win.
The grand prize, a feature in HGTV magazine, and the title of Battle of the Bling Champion.
Ooh, so some real estate photos in a grocery store magazine and a meaningless title. I'd be like, ugh, fine, but if the winner has to keep that glitter glue dollhouse, then I'm just gonna burn the whole place down before the camera crew gets here. We can't even get like a $1,000 gift card sponsored by Wayfair. Just have Todrick put it on his Amazon housewarming gift registry right under the bulk crate of ketchup packets and we can all pitch in. I hate that they never let Kim say her name on camera in this first intro. It feels like it's not edited in a complete way. Like it feels rushed and informal. But these aren't the 2 who will be deciding ultimately who wins. They choose who advances to become a finalist, but the final winner is chosen by...
To help us make that tough decision, we're bringing in some of HGTV's biggest stars.
That's right, real A-list royalty, such as Amy Anonymous, Megan from the furniture store, and your brother-in-law Kenny. I don't mean to discredit these judges, okay? I'm sure they really are HGTV's biggest stars, asterisk, who are available for under $5,000 a day. Otherwise, where are the Property Brothers, or Martha Stewart, or even that divorced couple from Love It and List It who are clearly still f***ing? I would even take that cool blonde woman from Help, I Wrecked My Home, just one letter away from my catchphrase, Help, I Wrecked My Hole. Anyway, it seems like each episode has a theme to the 3 bling battling houses. In this case, we're looking for the blingiest party pad. Like, was this written in 1999? While that specific slang term might not be as popular anymore, Todrick and this HGTV show have reminded me that I still kind of love collecting bling. Thankfully, that's exactly what I get to do with Raid Shadow Legends, the sponsor of today's video. It's literally a battle of the bling. This completely free-to-play mobile game focuses on collecting champions. Each have their own special skills and weaknesses and powers. Then you get to bling them out by collecting artifacts or winning battles. There are literally billions of different ways that you can customize your champions. Every champion has its own faction, and they just added a brand new one. They're called the Sylvan Watchers, full of like forest elves, scary, but not as scary as the tree spirits and the rock monsters, which I'm kind of into. If you're extra competitive, then you can also play against other players in the arena. It's battling time, baby. Get your bling. If you're early on in playing Raid, I would say spend a lot of time in Classic Arena. Pretty soon it feels like you're immersed inside a book or a movie. For example, the new faction, Sylvan Watchers, they're good friends with the Shadowkin and the Dwarf factions, which are neighboring them, because they have a shared history of personal struggle, and I think that's beautiful. And there are new champions and new updates added like this every month. The Christmas event is still going on called the 12 Days of Raid. That gives you a chance to win real life prizes. Amazon gift cards worth up to $1,000, real money. They have a new legendary champion based on the MMA pro wrestling legend Ronda Rousey. Raid even gives us the code RAIDRONDA, which gets new and existing users a bunch of cool stuff. And if you haven't started playing Raid yet, then you can click the link in my description or scan the QR code on the screen right now, and you're gonna get a unique set of bonuses worth $30, a free epic champion, Chanoru Chani, 200k silver, which is like their money, 1 XP boost, 1 energy refill, and 1 epic skill tome. Those words might not make sense yet, but it's like, it gives, you need it, you want it. That's bling. It's available for 30 days for new players only, right when you click that link or scan the code. Now, smelt some of that silver into a cute piece of jewelry, and then meet me back in front of the HGTV house tour. Our first contestant is Jamie, a fashion photographer who like spent all of her time looking for a pink house. She said she only looked for pink houses, and I'm like, you can paint a house. But anyway, it's a 70s theme and very monochromatic.
We got the pink memo.
Gotta come to my parties.
Okay.
You look great.
I love
You are the
this.
coolest person I think I've ever met in my entire life.
Wait, are they doing the scene from Almost Famous where that twink journalist meets Kate Hudson for the first time? Sorry, I tried looking up the character names, but every time I put twink journalist into Google, it just took me directly to the personal website of Ronan Farrow. To be fair, much like Penny Lane, our first bling contestant does have a very unique perspective.
I always felt like I was born at the wrong time.
I get that. I'm also suspicious that I was born prematurely. But what does that have to do with the color of everything in your house? She said, I feel like I should have been born in the 70s, but I was actually born in 1980. Okay, preemie, why don't you go and show us your flamingo-shaped pool floaties now, because we got 2 more weirdo houses to walk through after this. The show is so desperate to try and add some value to itself that it gives us like very basic definitions and very unusable design tips in text overlays on the screen as people are talking. They're like monochromatic, meaning pink, 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 everything pink sink. Jamie's talking about the wild parties that she throws here. For example, she adds pink dye to her pool, and someone got her a pink smoke bomb to wave around. Now, it is a unique home, and she clearly spent a lot of time updating it. Like, a lot of this stuff is from thrift stores, which really impresses people because it doesn't look necessarily that inexpensive. This is probably one of the more cohesive houses we're gonna see today, although I am kind of bothered that it's entirely pink except for 1 red room. Don't call it a red room if you don't have the guy from 50 Shades of Grey in there ready to beat me with a cattle prod and shove a peeled ginger root up my ass. That's the law. That's just HGTV law. Put that text overlay on the screen for a tip, for a homeowner's tip. I guess red and pink are in the same color family, but I don't like those 2 colors together that much. What is this, a Victoria's Secret catwalk? They did that once.
I just put it in the universe that one day I'd find a red tub, but it was only $400.
What? When you can lay on your bed and look at the bathtub, okay? That's bling.
Oh, great. Did you hear that, immigrants who died in tenement buildings? Your house is bling. Maybe your souls can pass on now, and you no longer have to work at that haunted Manhattan walking tour, as they do with each of the houses in this episode. So I can guess they follow suit with all of the episodes. They have this like little dream sequence and soliloquy, off-shooting side thing. Like her open concept living room is built for exercising and dancing. So they do, and roller skating, because she's 70s. I feel like this girl really liked the movie Boogie Nights. And then Todrick and Kim do a very 80s exercise video. I'm like, you said 70s. F this house. F your pink house. Right in the pink Oops. Shouldn't talk like that, Nicholas. There's a little girl dog out there. And goodness gracious, she's always pissing on herself. Where's that room in my house? Every room is the dog piss room. She also has a bedroom with a mirrored ceiling and a circular mattress that rotates. And in the red room, it's one of those coin-operated vibrating mattresses. So it's like, we get it, honey. You get a lot and you like it to be jostly. My pelvic bones are bruised just watching that. They rate each house on the blingometer, which is just a slider based on wow factor, originality, and execution. They seem almost equally generous when they're rating each of these places, but I kind of agreed with this one's judgment. Like, the execution is cool because at least Jamie is customizing these thrift store vintage pieces and doing installations on her own, like hanging the mirrors herself. Now we meet our next homeowner, Richard, who I think they forgot to put a lower third on the screen telling us his job, but don't worry, because while Jamie was a photographer whose house revolved around being pink, Richard makes it clear that he is also a photographer, except his house revolves around being a photographer.
I'm a photographer. As a photographer. Photography, it's really designed for photography. Photography, it's one of my specialist areas.
I'll let you photograph one of my specialist areas, Richard, but which part of your 8-story house has the best air circulation? Because I'm about to expose a lot of dead tissue. Richard's like, oh, perfect. Exposure is a photography term, and I'm a photographer, and that's why my house looks like a bowling alley. Seriously? Richard's house is a hot mess, and they have to act like it's blingy? Look at this basement.
And then I thought what fun it would be just to be whimsical and make the place look like a planetarium.
People of Britain, or maybe Australia, is planetarium your weird term for what I would call a laser tag arena? The definition of planetarium that I know is a dome where they project stars and planets on the inside. But this is just the room that had the most stunning view in your entire house, which you ruined with matte black paint and window markers. Literally, there are floor-to-ceiling windows with a view that people would pay millions for, looking over the hills, and he covered them up with paint because he thought it would be cool to make it a planetarium. Like, again, he said it was for like photos, like he needs to control the light for taking photos, but then why the black light? And why call it a planetarium? Like, was planetarium the name of a casino arcade that your parents left you at as a child? Did you mean to say Pizza Planet? Either way, they go into another little dance sequence where Kim and Todrick are doing their 70s dancing again. Really timely show, guys. Feels like it came right out of another decade. Jamie would love it. She's gonna take a heart-shaped bath with it. Also, I just feel like perhaps this room was more intriguing in real life, but this video is not doing it justice. It's not lit for video. It's too bright in order to let us see the hosts, but it just kind of looks like a nightclub that hasn't opened yet. An all-black room in the daylight looks really depressing. It's just scuff marks and sad things. And so far I'm like, okay, this is not a blingy house. This is a nice house that a crazy person paints on because he's an artist. Sorry, not to call him crazy, but the murals are crazy.
I shot very early in her career, Kim Kardashian, in here.
Are you saying this is the actual execution chamber they used when developing the first Kim Kardashian prototypes? Oh, shooting with a camera. I forgot he's a photographer. Now I'm up to speed. This is just the creepy Egyptian themed room that he takes pictures of young girls in. Simple as that. These paintings do not look very professional to me, but even with fake hieroglyphics, the most historically inaccurate part is that nobody has nipples. I don't get it, Richard. You had a lot of confidence when it came to tackling those one-knuckle clamshell hands, but then you don't know how to paint on some areolas? I can't tell if that's their back or the front. Belly, I see a belly button. Listen, you better paint some nipples on those Egyptian characters before my niece gets here to stay for the weekend. She was born without nipples. She's gonna think you're making fun of her. Next we go down to, it's 8 stories. Did I mention? 8 stories this house is. And it was 2 stories in a loft when he bought it, but he got special permission to build it up. I'm like, who are you taking pictures of that's paying you this much? And why do the pictures have such bad wigs in them if it's that high paying? I've got questions. But anyway, let's just relax in this grotto. I do like the resin treated brick because it has glitter in it. Like, that's kind of fun for the lighting effects. I can't say the rest of it holds up up in quality to me. But I guess, I don't know, Kim is the expert and she seems fine with this.
I'm looking at foam insulation, spray insulation. What a great way to get texture, to get relief.
A great way for me to get relief would be if we left this house right now. Although it would also be satisfying to pick all the paint off of that exposed spray insulation. Kim literally sounds like she's complimenting the students in her drama class for their creative and cost-effective set design. And again, stop acting like that's a tip that I can use in my house. Just like that nightclub room where the tip on screen said, one black light tube can illuminate space up to 60 by 60 feet. So, what am I gonna use that knowledge for? I'm not selling light bulbs. I cannot believe that this is like a house with custom indoor waterfalls and he spray insulationed some torsos to the ceiling like it's the creeper's lair. And Todrick and Kim just have to keep acting like this is the coolest house they've ever seen. Todrick is like, if you told me that I'd be laying in a grotto, like looking at torsos, I wouldn't believe you. It's like, yeah, because it sounds dumb and not nice to look at. Here's another example of the show feeling weirdly rushed and underproduced, although this might be an attempt at authenticity.
Okay, y'all, I'm in the wet room. Have you ever seen a shower head this big? And it lights up.
Okay, that was exactly like the videos I sent to my friends from the bathroom after hooking up at a rich person's house. At first I assumed they suddenly switched to cell phone footage because like insurance wouldn't let a camera crew with electricity into a full shower room. But then why wouldn't she at least hold the phone horizontally? This is going on TV, sis. But then I thought maybe that was just actually something that Kim posted on her Instagram story and they pulled it in because it seems like this 22-minute episode was a real struggle to string together. Or maybe the camera crew was like on break, or she was really just peeing in there and taking her time, or it was like a promo footage for like social media posts when the show aired, because it happens again and it feels unplanned.
Going to a party pad. The party pad.
Oh, I know that. I hear that this party pad might rival some of the other ones.
Well, yeah, because that's the point of the whole show. These party pads are all literally rivals of one another in a competition for big ugly houses that rich people do drugs in. It's like, why are we even including this? They really are struggling to pad this out. Kim said, I hear this next party pad also has bling. And Todrick was like, I know, and I hear this show is called Battle of the Bling. We already know. Stop it, both of you. And what did you both say to make the camera guy quit? Did he hear you making fun of his vest? Oh, they come up with cute names for each of these houses. The first one was called That 70s House. Then we were just at the 8-Story Surprise. I don't know what that is a play on, if anything. And the next one is The Glass Palace, which was a memoir about alcoholism. Okay, very LA. This is probably the only of the 3 houses we're gonna see that I could see myself maybe living in without wanting to pull my hair out. It's got a lot of glass elements for sure, and a beautiful, like a 7-foot chandelier. Todrick and Kim act like they're witnessing the parting of the Red Sea when she turns on a TV from behind a piece of one-way glass. They're like, is it a mirror or a television? I mean, it's cool that she did it, I guess, but I've seen that at the Mercedes dealership. I wasn't buying a Mercedes. I was arrested for stealing stuff from the vending machine. This homeowner, Nicole, who does get a lower third. What is up with Richard? They said no, Richard. No name recognition. She does seem like maybe the coolest out of the 3 homeowners. I think her accent causes Todrick to get a little carried away.
I grew up in Brazil. Now I really enjoy having this big house just for myself.
All right.
All right.
He fully thinks he's having drinks at Charo's house right now. We all thought he was just making an insensitive joke when he kept calling her that at lunch. So they're like, look at, she has glass bricks in the shower. Look at, she has glass in the fireplace. And then the thing on the screen is like, glass in a fireplace won't burn like wood. Okay, what? I didn't think glass would melt in a fireplace. I've been to the outdoor lounge at a Hilton before. She also continues to get them a little tipsy. She makes them like 3 drinks that we see. Maybe that's why they seem perplexed in a good way by the bathtub filler that she shows them. I would be more perplexed in a ooh sort of way. It makes me feel weird.
The water comes from the ceiling.
Stop.
What is even happening?
I I think it's clear what's happening. God himself is filling that bathtub of rose petals with his mighty, mighty piss stream. I guess he has heard my nightly prayers. Our God is an awesome God. His piss is filling our bathtubs. I know my voice sounds good on that song because when we sang it at church, everyone turned to look at me with a shocked expression on their face. He's pissing so thick and juicy. The stream is juicy and thick. Aw, I love Christmas. Also, just based on this first episode as a sample, I would guess that we're gonna see a lot more of Todrick singing.
Wallpaper everywhere. Yes, the acoustics are
Giving the sound mixer a brain bleed. Yeah, I think we got enough coverage of your head voice now, Todrick. Can we record the sound of your shutting the f up? Again with this blingometer they use to judge every house, like Kim said that the execution of Richard's house was very close to the top it could be because he took $1 million view and painted it over. I'm like, that's bad execution. It looks like a dungeon in there. Like all of these sliders are so close to each other that it's like, you can't possibly mean that. And they don't give this woman a lot for wow factor. I'm like, I would say wow to a pretty house with lots of clean glass elements, much more than I would say wow to a house with thrift store mattresses or a like day glow motif of the planet, a fictional planet from a guy who takes pictures of hard front wigs for a living. But despite this close race, the judges are able to choose a winner. Drum roll, it's Jamie in the pink house, pink as my hole. It's an awesome pussy pissing from my ceiling. Can someone please remind us about the high stakes of this competition?
If you win this, you will be the winner of the Battle of the Bling, and you will have eternal bragging rights, okay? I'm talking about those bragging rights with no expiration date, honey.
And I'm talking about that redundancy that repeats the same thing twice, honey. He literally just said, if you get selected to win Battle of the Bling, you will be the winner of the Battle of the Bling. That means bragging rights that last forever. I'm talking about those bragging rights that last for all time. Okay, not every sentence you say has to be a compound sentence just because it's television. I feel like I've been sentenced to a compound having to watch this. The prize of this show already meant nothing, but it sounds even more like nothing when you go on to explain what nothing is. Whatever, why don't you just hit us with another high note, Todrick, and really put a bolt in the skull of this sick cow of a TV show.
I'm sitting on my Game of Thrones chair.
Yes.
Right over there.
Oh my God,
It's not funny. That's the same exact sound as our fire alarm, and a panicked housekeeper just jumped into the swimming pool from upstairs. Actually, it's kind of funny. Do you guys shall we go get some footage of that? I don't want to spoil the next episode for you about having great views, but the Game of Thrones fan with the beard there can me. Spoiler alert. Our God is pissing, and I said that guy can me. What even is this right now? What is this TV show and what is my response to it? Put crazy out, you get crazy in. That's what we always say in the loony bin, in the Looney Tunes bin, where you watch the Porky Pigs. Anyway, Todrick, I'm so grateful that we get to see you on our screens once again, showing us the craziest f***ing houses that could ever possibly exist. What do you all think of Battle of the Bling? Do you still use the term bling? And under what circumstances? I need to know. I don't even use the search engine Bing. In fact, I don't use any search engines. I just keep wondering forever. Let me know if there are any other home improvement shows that deserve a look on Clip Breakdown, and any other suggestions you might have in the comments below. But also give this video a big thumbs up. It really helps support the channel and lets me know this is what you want to see. But most importantly, if you're new to my channel, I would love to have you click that subscribe button right over there. That way you never miss new videos from me. I upload 2 new ones every week. Turn on notifications and you'll always be the first to know when I'm pissing from a hole in your ceiling and the piss stream is robust. You guys are all the greatest. Thank you for getting impaled on a thorny sword chair with me today. I will see you next time.